in order for companies to compete in 2025 and beyond, they're going to need to adopt AI. Otherwise, their competitors are going to get an extreme advantage over them, which seems obvious, but I think many people have this expectation of AI coming in and giving them a competitive advantage through some advanced system that they didn't have existing already in their business. But I can tell you, as someone that has implemented AI solutions for companies about 6 or 7 times now on different projects, including UCLA Health and other medical clinics around America, it's just simply not true. So one thing that I want to do in this video is very candidly take you through the core benefits of AI systems and actually what results they do generate. Because like I said, many people think you need these complex systems, but realistically, all we're trying to do is just get a better result out of the systems you already have. You shouldn't be trying to optimize for something that doesn't exist or solve for something that doesn't exist. So with that being said, one of the core benefits of AI systems is scalability. And the first core point about scalability is there's zero coordination overhead. So every single time that you need to bring on a new hire, for example, that means increased salary, benefits, trainings, right? So not only are they having to be trained, you're actually having to create those trainings too. And it just comes with a whole heap of overheads as well. You got to start figuring out things like taxes and things like just the general business management stuff, right? But what AI does is it eliminates this entirely, right? So you're reducing what I think, I'm not exactly sure who the founder was, some Mr. Chesky, something like this. I can't remember their first name. They said AI reduces communication tax, right? And that's what it increases when you bring on new hires. You have to go communicate here, communicate there, and it basically just becomes this whole amalgamation of different people trying to get their input in different things, and it just becomes a lot hairier, which again is the communication tax, right? And what eliminating this communication tax does, it actually allows an organization to remain smaller, right? Because there's less decision makers, because the people that are making decisions have high leverage, right? And because systems are being put in place with AI that would generally require someone to be trained and castrated for bad performance and things like that. So it allows teams to remain very flat, and no hierarchy really needs to be established, which is very important for remaining agile. Now, another one is instant deployment. Like I said, there's no training. Changes are immediate and begin working the system, and you begin getting data back, which I'll touch on in a second, straight away. So you don't need to do all these lengthy review calls, which is another thing I'll talk about in a second. You just instantly deploy and we're good to go. We can start iterating from what we're seeing. Now, another benefit of the scalability is that it offers predictable and accurate performance. And you're also seeing it in one place. You're not having to pull data from a bunch of different conversations. You actually see it on these AI dashboards, right? It's just setting it up correctly, where if you do actually need AI solutions, it'd be a good time to reach out to me. I'll plug that right now. But the point is it's very predictable and accurate. It's a computer. It operates on a set of rules and it will execute based on that set of rules. So I know we just spoke about how as a company scales, you need to hire more people and increase your salaries and things like that. AI systems marginally increase. It just increases based on computing costs. And as with Moore's law, computing costs just gets cheaper and cheaper more rapidly, right? So the scalability of AI systems. Now, the other core benefit of AI systems is enhanced customer experience. So AI is always available, right? Not only does it not work on human time, which is 9 to 5, it works around the clock, and it doesn't need a little vacation in the Bahamas. So there's no more our office is closed. If you have an email assistant or if you have like a call center or something like this, it just operates 24/7. This obviously has a multitude of benefits I'll talk about in a second, but the other part of the enhanced customer experience is that AI is also multilingual. So if you are a logistics partner or you work in e-commerce and you need to work with factories in China, then there's no issue there because AI can operate across language barriers and boundaries. So that's no more need for the kind of Google Translate back and forth and the answer that you normally get when you're dealing with Chinese manufacturers, right? So with that being said, it also has extremely consistent service, right? If you hire any human and they have a bad day, they come into the office or they log on to their computer if they're mostly working remotely and I don't know, their kids piss them off in the morning or their girlfriend broke up with them or something, they're going to be an asshole when they're at DMs, when they're to calls or anything like that. And that reflects on your company. I think Warren Buffett said, if you make a mistake for the company, I'll be forgiving. But if you lose reputation for the company or damage reputation of the company, I will be ruthless. That's one thing I definitely operate by in my company. Any reputation losses is something I don't put up with, but having AI agents and AI systems, you're just getting consistent output, consistent service, and your customers, if it's customers facing, gets the same high quality service no matter what. That's the second core benefit of having an AI system. It can literally just be a chatbot, which isn't even a system, it's just a function, right? So again, we're not needing to build these crazy systems to see the core benefits of AI, right? The third out of the four that we have, and that is consistency and systematic improvement. AI runs on data-driven optimization, right? Now, my biggest philosophy with AI is that it's not here to replace humans, it's here to augment humans. Humans still have the upper hand when it comes to not just building relationships, obviously human to human, but also when it comes to making high leverage and specialized decisions, right? Real problem solving decisions. I think Apple just released a paper, whether you want to take it with a grain of salt or not, basically saying that AI, although it can automate these manual tasks, which is what I'm telling you it can do now, instead of being some complex system, its actual reasoning capability and seeing new scenarios play out and trying to solve them, it's actually still quite poor. And I can agree with that, right? You can feed it the context and the information, it can deduce from there, but it's never going to be able to put together some war strategy battle with unknown weapons, for example. So that's where humans really have the upper advantage. And that's why I think it's so important for AI to run on data-driven optimization, because you can actually get the data back. You can see it optimizing itself, or you can then make a decision to adjust the strategy of the agent or the AI system, because again, you are the one with decision leverage. That's ultimately what AI does. It increases the decision leverage of the decision makers who are utilizing their computational leverage to do labor online, for example. So lots of big words there, but it makes sense if you need to go back and watch it. Consistency and systematic improvements. Like I said, AI runs on data-driven optimization. It's rapid testing and iteration too, right? It's instant deployment, and then you can A/B test rapidly. You can get that data back. Again, you can make that decision loop, and the leverage of your decision is so much more because your decisions don't need to wait on somebody to wake up and make a change. You make the decision, you basically fire it off, and then you wait for the data to come back, which again, the decision loop is incredible there. So everything is also centralized, and yeah, basically means, like I said, you can just make those deployments straight away. Turn the decisions into actions as fast as possible, which is obviously a huge part of getting competitive advantage in the business landscape. Now, the fourth core benefit of an AI system is that basically optimizes resources extremely effectively, right? AI allows businesses to focus on more valuable or highly leveraged tasks that include high levels of judgment, strategy development, and problem solving. The AI handles the manual or routine tasks that are bogging you down. And it may be things like scraping lead lists, sending personalized emails. These are things that are manual and repetitive that don't require, let's be honest, an Einstein level IQ. Obviously, if you have the right SOPs in the first place. The next resource optimization or thing that an AI system is operational waste. It'll completely eradicate it by being able to scale up and down based on use. So that could be seasonal. So if you have a very seasonal business, you can scale up the computational power, scale it back down when you come out of systems, which flows on to my next point, which is predictable cost, right? So you're also optimizing for your dollar, right? It's never going to want a bonus. It's never going to want commission or anything like that. It's predictable cost at all times of year, again, based on scaling up and scaling down. And like I said, that is obviously just flexible scaling, which is really important for a lot of businesses. So those are the four core benefits of having AI systems in your business. I do want to end it off there because I think, like I said, the idea isn't to build crazy systems. It's basically to understand the benefits that AI can actually bring you and just work up from there. I think that's very important to understand in this landscape because, people are getting a little bit crazy, but you want to be able to position yourself in a situation that when this technology does get good enough to be able to handle these insane systems, then you're right there.